remember if we did much exploring. I don't think we explored. I think we got attacked. think we need to go into this city thing here. Do a few things before we can head to the Vox Relay.
Huh. Well, at least it's not shooting the water anymore. Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile. Do hate to come off impolite. If you're so inclined, we can pick this up later, after you two confabulate. Word to the wise, despite what you might hear, we still consider ourselves part of the Protectorate. Anyone spots an outsider engaging in misdeeds might just open fire.
The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch working with and through the sovereign.
Town water tanks got all sort of needless warning labels on it, like avoid placing harmful irritants inside.
I think it's meant to stop me from dropping my father-in-law in there.
Naturally,
You reckon individualists ever get tired just thinking about themselves?
invasive species can unbalance
Try not to think. It'll only make you unhappy.
ecosystem, like those nettlesome raptidons or the base individual.
The matriarch and sovereign chose Eden. Appeared right out of the aether, just as I imagine our proud sentinels do. Like, here I am, your innermost thoughts are known to me, and nobody once hears from you again. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintrott. Why, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials.
Due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage.
Why, they are certainly inspiring. There's this one character who just laughs at danger, says he hand makes his own luck. Is that not the grandest thing you ever heard? You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret, I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it.
I am deeply involved in all manner of clandestine efforts. I suppose one might call me a provocateur.
How I've waited to hear those words. Anything I might help with at present?
Lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm
Of course. Toodaloo. Hey there,
to
go-getter.
guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us. A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have community. Time for recreation.
Well, it's infected. Meds don't arrive soon, we'll have to start cutting.
Food is nutritious.
You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. You haven't heard? When Antes invaded, they broke the seawall. Flooded nearly half the town below, where most of the domiciles were. A number of our subjects drowned. Others got concussed, or even crushed. A few were electrocuted or exposed to caustics. Took a while for our water purifier to catch up, so some drank tainted water, which is not good for you at all. I'm glad it's working again. All right, well, don't let me keep you.
I wish everyone's neighbor Prudence was my actual neighbor. Except my domicile is presently underwater.
To govern it, the matriarch working with and through the sovereign.
Alright, we gotta talk to what?
If each of
Greetings.
us heart produces
It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to Protectorate excellence. Now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence, automech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the Arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such. Hence my use of the term reasonable facsimile. I owe it to every single person here to try. That's abundantly kind of you, though there must be something I can offer. Enough to lead and inspire those who work there, once at least. I was previously the ranking vigilant on this island. Why do you ask? I don't know what an Earth Directorate is, and I'd thought we were past the need for being coy, but fine. I'll extend you my trust as a show of good faith. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in. Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. But do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here. Farewell now.
The matriarch working with and through the sovereign divide.
Okay, so what's to that?
The paradigm, a meticulously designed marvel where, if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes challenges do arise. We all know how invasive species can unbalance even the most robust ecosystem, like those nettlesome raptidons, or the base individualists within anti-choice. Though don't fret, the system is resilient.
No,
I just feel sad for them. It's even in their name.
Almost missed the routine certitude of my assigned profession.
They don't have a balanced hand of a thought.
Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
I'm not going to do that one. Well, okay.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Goodwin here. Field report update. We are approaching the Raptidon Den. These beasts have exhibited excessive irritability as of late. We endeavor to determine why. Surely the red spores aren't to blame. Wind-borne spores lack the catalytic agent of our food additives. Only way to be certain is to gather a stool sample. Simple enough. A routine task for the audacious Advances field team. Quiet now as we approach the rap's nest. Certainly the spirited variety will offer... Oh, no! Oh, okay. We need to run now!
Take him out! Fastest way forward is through!
Take forever to get back to walking, so we'll use fast travel.
Been noticing a lot of screws going missing of late on board the ship. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
No missing fastener reports have been filed with this unit.
Let me rephrase. Have you been collecting screws for some reason?
Affirmative. Multiple replacement screws have been collected in accordance with pending work order from Agent Ibarra. I must have a screw loose.
It's a figure of speech, Val. Give the order and I'll take care of it, Commander.
I need a different weapon. One we're currently using. Six. Pistol for now.
tough as you thought.
Hey, you! Get over here before you get yourself killed! No, ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. If the occasion calls for it. But I fancy myself something of a biologist. Or, at least I used to. Me and raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Huh. I heard there were some survivors still holed up over there. I can understand them looking for help, though how this place could provide that? I ain't claiming to know. I'm Inez Silung, Auntie's choice, former combat medic in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Now, menial troubleshooter. As long as you don't impede my work or break the stalemate we got on this island, I think we'll get along all right. I'll admit I was eager for some good hunting around here. My arm, my graft, needs some bolstering. But if the raps here are as weak as this one, it won't help me none. If you had, you'd know. Unless you're accustomed to seeing folk roaming around with exposed muscle fibers or stunted extra limbs on their backs. Sorry. Guess I'm just used to folks staring real hard and then steering clear. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for the grafting program. And when I say it was shuttered, I mean completely fucking demolished. Bet they'd erase it from the financial records if they could. It was that much of an embarrassment. In the wake of such a failure, it's left us grafted folks with no support. I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. She's bound by contract to work on whatever task Fairfield's illustrious leader set her to, nothing else. But she also ain't quite got the hang of the employment thing. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Law, no. The contract would just pass down the line of succession. It's a very long line. And anyway, I ain't a killer. No matter how much I fantasize about shutting him up when he goes on and on about how he's the father of capitalism reincarnated. Or lamenting that his mock apple martini ain't blended quite right. Ugh, never quite got the hang of those. That right. Suppose if you've been in my position and managed to do well for yourself, could be an option worth keeping on the table, if all else fails. Get the feeling you will. Go on now. There's probably plenty of Protectorate info waiting to be scooped up if you're keen. Just mind the raps. I got what I came for, so I reckon it's time to see about my contract. Law knows I could use a lucky break.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's with Auntie's choice. Let's wreck 'em!
What the heck you doing, Colin?
Let's dismiss what the hell do you do? Ready to wait. On your command.
every nook and cranny as well. At least the best I can do.
I'll take fighting raps over living in a surveillance state any day of the week.
Ectoplasm. Wait. Nope. Just taro excrement.
down. That should be a bit closer.
Must be at least a few usable parts in here. Aha! Hello there. You wouldn't happen to have found any usable parts in all this debris? Westport's stockpiles of replacement parts are nearly depleted. I need to find some parts to convert some of our automechanicals, non-combat parts. Fortunately, there's nothing here that's salvageable. Auntie's bombs sure take their toll, don't they? Let's just say to fill Westport's needs. If you follow the road heading north, you can't miss it. Used to be a sight to behold, but the war hasn't been kind to it. To any of us. True enough. A few years ago, I couldn't have imagined us running short of anything. And now here I am, digging through scrap for parts. But I digress. Was there anything else? Need to get back to my hunt, you understand? Unless I missed my guess, this looks like it was transporting damaged and malfunctioning automechs from the Vox station to the Automech Repair Center to the south of here. The center is... Say, you don't work for Antes, do you? This is beginning to feel more than a little like you're digging for intelligence. Fair enough. As I was saying, the Automech Repair Center is south of here. Regrettably, subjects of Westport no longer have access to the repair center. Hence my need to scavenge. Yes and no. The bombs certainly took a fierce toll, but I suspect these were all in various states of disrepair even before Andy's offensive, which has made sorting out where to begin my efforts here rather difficult. There should be a manifest somewhere, but it's nowhere to be found. Nor are the troopers who should have been escorting this. Where are their bodies? The only species in these parts that would pose such a threat to an armed escort squad would be crabbles, but the guard at Westport has always made a point of culling them with automechs so they don't get out of hand. Well, yes, the one in the same... Ah, I see your point there. Not so easy to cull crabbles without operational automechs. Likewise. And please inform me if you happen upon any usable parts. There must be at least a few usable parts in here. Aha!
All right, Val. Now seems as good a time as any to test how your personality module's functioning. Why don't we start simple? Val, how's the weather today?
Proceeding with lengthy and unnecessary small talk.
Let me stop you right there. Well, guess that's what I get for trying to hack together your last rebuild with Protectorate parts.
It looks like healthy plumes of green.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking Protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for Zeranium gas. We sprung a leak. How observant of you. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
All that matters is getting these automechs to the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
What in the name of the architect? Oh, right. My guards told me to expect a new arrival, right before our chief mechanist decided to harangue me with the latest on our catastrophe.
Marshal, you're acting as though I'm not standing here auguring the impending doom of this facility.
Woodrow, normally I would be obliged, nay, happy, to receive your senseless jawing, but not today. Perhaps this outsider can assist where you've failed. I hope you've come to help, because a crisis is bearing down on us, and I've a dearth of reliable hands with which to manage it. You see, Woodrow, why at this rate, we'll have the facility up and running in little to no time.
That's what scares me, Marshal.
Like you, me and my consternated head technician are new arrivals, though we may not last long if we fail to repair the Zeranium leak. I wouldn't have put it in those terms, but I appreciate someone who speaks their mind. The Vox relay station needs our automechs. But until that leak is fixed, this facility is a target for the sport of Auntie's armaments. Delphinia Bryant is working on a prototype Zeranium shield. Whoever uses it will be less disposable and more useful to the Protectorate. What did I tell you, Woodrow? The situation's well in hand.
Marshal, those automechs have been corrupted with Zeranium. I can't even cogitate on what they're capable of if we lack the time or resources to approach this rationally. Should they go berserk, we may well be turning the very subject you intend to resupply into their victims. We'd be branded as traitors.
Then perhaps you had better explain to Brigadier Montelli why his defenses are grounded. And you can do so personally, in the comfort of his office.
Montelli? I rescind my objection. May the delicate workings of the paradigm point us toward a better way.
There's a good fellow. Cleave to your loyalty, and it will never steer you wrong.
Might be wise to give that large gas cloud a wide berth. Don't think there's anything to gain by getting near it.
What about you?
Zeranium poisoning.
Sovereign's mercy. How do you feel?
help them.
Oh, yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now, what is it you want? Ah, our good Marshal sent you, did he? Well, unfortunately, the device is taking longer than expected. Assist me, and you'll get more than bits out of the equation. You'll get a prototype shield gadget, the first of its kind. Now tell me, are you familiar with ziranium gas? I haven't time to prattle unnecessarily, no. But my current project is of utmost importance. An active discussion is sometimes known to lead to a breakthrough. I could speak at length about ziranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from ziranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Quite splendidly, if I do say so myself. The principal function of the device is confirmed operational. I merely need to work out some minor implementation concerns. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good, good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray ziranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a ziranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense ziranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Well, of course, obviously. To that end, I'd suggest choosing a cloud of lesser density for your collection efforts. Lower chance of near-instant death that way. If you suffer prolonged exposure, assuming you survive, see our local medical officer next door. She is highly preoccupied by the treatment of ziranium-related maladies. I believe that covers all the necessary education for this particular assignment. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
What my count is. Oh, 4. Upgrade. 5. Envy.
Not sure we should get any closer.
My little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate Zeranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. I require a component called a catalytic amplifier. You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. You would imagine so, wouldn't you? Unfortunately for me, our chief mechanist, Woodrow, wasn't enthusiastic about my proposal to geld his only combat automech. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. Dragoons are a mainstay of our military. The design has been in production for decades. I had a model of one when I was young. All children did. You must have seen the large automech patrolling the interior grounds. That is the Dragoon. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice attack us, we don't want to be caught defenseless. No doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech, since the others are by now riddled with Zeranium poisoning. Good. A flexible mindset should behoove you on this task. Perhaps the chief mechanist will prove more receptive to your request. Failing that, be prepared to exercise creativity if needed. One last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely be damaged, but we'd both be summarily executed, assuming we survive the firefight that ensued. Well, off you go. Shoo.
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure, amplifier requisition, and 2 more cases of Zeranium exposure. We're a mite bit busy these days. The Marshal is under a lot of pressure to deliver automechs to the Vox relay station, but I'm responsible for their quality control. If even a single automech steps out of line, it will be the end of me. Brigadier Montelli does not accept excuses, and he does not tolerate failure. The Marshal is a good man, but he values speed while I value accuracy. Neither of us is wrong, but in this case, we both can't be right. She and I have been over this 100 times. Please understand, the original staff of this facility were rounded up and refreshed because they couldn't safeguard a Protectorate asset. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working Dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic scrap? I can't. I won't.
Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. That's just my confirmation to get my tires done tomorrow.
If you're really so desperate, you can track down our second Dragoon. Damn thing wandered up the coast and hasn't been seen since. I'd have sent someone to retrieve it myself, but Dragoons are stubborn when their instructions are unclear. First, that would undoubtedly destroy the catalytic amplifier. Second, everyone here would turn their guns on you. You do that. Good hunting. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Analyzing curious demeanor.
Agent vitals have fallen below acceptable parameters.
Note to self. Don't do that. Okay. There. Map.
Fallen below acceptable parameters.
Ready to waste it. On your command.
any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? Oh, superb! I'm almost tempted to ask how you managed it. But pressing on, just a moment to remove what I need and install it in the prototype. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. You do that. Anything to keep him off my back for an hour.
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Whether or not you're able to help us, I'm grateful to have an extra set of eyes on the problem. Zeranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. Don't worry about Woodrow. Smart fellow, but his cautious nature gets in the way. Yes, there is some risk that exposure to Zeranium will corrupt our automechs, to use his colorful language. That shouldn't stop us from delivering them on time. I'm sure they'll be scrubbed clean once they arrive at the Vox relay. But that isn't our problem to solve. You be sure and come back once you've made progress on the leak.
Insides are leaking outside, Commander.
I thought the shield was supposed to...
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Whether or not you're able to help us, I'm grateful to have an extra set of eyes on the problem. Zeranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. Don't worry about Woodrow. Smart fellow, but his cautious nature gets in the way. Yes, there is some risk that exposure to Zeranium will corrupt our automechs, to use his colorful language. That shouldn't stop us from delivering them on time. I'm sure they'll be scrubbed clean once they arrive at the Vox relay. But that isn't our problem to solve. You be sure and come back once you've made progress on the leak.
right over there.
I had it, but then Genius got in my way. I don't have hack 2. Hack 1. This one. We can get hacked too, because I think we need to hack that thing to open the doors.
Gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
Outside.
Under protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrination. Welcome back. Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind. That is most excellent. Please, hand them over. Sincerest thanks. Now, we had what you outsiders call a deal. I promised you a means past the bridge and a way inside the Vox relay. There is wreckage from a crashed ship traversing most of the expanse. With the right equipment, the path will lead you directly to the Vox relay's main gate. Tell me, do you already have Protectorate jump boots in your possession? That's what I knew them as. The official title is Personal Plasma Thrusters, I suppose. Wouldn't know much about that, but you'll find they serve a practical purpose here. With them equipped, you'll traverse that path with relative ease. I'll prepare a writ of conscription to allow you entry to the Vox relay. While most would refuse my authorization, the sentry assigned to the gate once lived in Westport. Sentry second-class layman. Show the writ as proof I have conscripted you into my employ. Use it to press service on my behalf, and she will let you in. Once you're inside, there's someone else you should show it to. You do that and say what I tell you. It'd save many lives. The Vox relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing protectorate law. Marshal Corbin. As with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox relay, conscript him with the writ, and this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in the moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. I may not survive to see what occurs, but I trust you to follow your conscience. Farewell now. Promise you'll return here if you can, to check in on my people and see how they fare. Oh, I don't doubt your abilities, but the prospects remain exceedingly poor. The facility is exceptionally well guarded, and forces there are the pinnacle of protectorate training. Even if you succeed, it's only a matter of time before the Arbiter arrives to administer my sentence. Any chances of me avoiding my fate are quite slim, I fear. Farewell now.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the command centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling.
Okay.
Prey to imperfect thoughts? Go now.
There's the crash ship. I forgot about that one around the gate. I'm just gonna run around and do things so we can hopefully get level up to get a skill point so we can get hacked 2.
Can't believe some of those Protectorate hull heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Yeah, let them simmer in their cells.
Why does even the slightest scintilla of success so elude me? Is it my destiny to fail? I do not seem to compare unfavorably to others.
What are we supposed to meet her? Meet Inez Fairfield's town hall.
Yes! Oh, no, it was that again. Oh, I don't think if oh no, if no can. Oh, possibly no.
Hello again. You here for the show?
Yet you see fit to keep me in a constant state of consternation. With each unauthorized act, you jeopardize our hold of Fairfield.
Yes, but you must understand, the Protectorate citizenry is a hair's breadth from defection. Within the week, I'm certain.
Certain. Like the week prior and the week before that. Impressive foresight you wield. Should apply to join the Order of the Ascendant.
It would be difficult enough to convert the stubborn populace without your soldiers' constant, ill-advised forays.
Enough! Your yipping reminds me of my 2 old canids. I loved those canids. You, on the other hand, are trying my patience. We don't want to try Auntie's patience, do we?
No, Auntie.
Yes, I thought not. Now, unless you care to see what life in the lower rungs looks like, you will both of you cease your foolish maneuvering immediately. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Auntie.
Good. See that it is done. I will brook no more disappointments. And while you're at it, you might want to look into your security situation, Commander. I'm not accustomed to an audience when addressing my subordinates.
Who in the void? Eavesdropping on Auntie's choice business is like to get a body shot for spine. Though you're not wanting for moxie. I'll give you that.
Now hold a moment, Car. An opportunity comes visiting. Perhaps it's better not to riddle it full of holes. Our new compatriot may be of assistance.
A surprisingly good point. Especially from you. She only forbade us using our own personnel. Be a whole other matter were a stranger to happen to aid one of us. But which? Well, you seem an observant sort, so I expect you'll tire of Milver Street's bluster soon enough. Come see me before agreeing to whatever absurdity he proposes. Unlike him, I have some work actually befitting your time. I'll be waiting.
Now, with that out of the way, I'd care to make my introduction. I am D.B. Milver Street, Duke of Demographics, Commercial Condottieri, President of Promotional Material. Tell me.
Hey, how about we settle our business first? I did what you wanted.
Took you time doing it. I had you pre-marked as a casualty in my reports. I suppose I'll have to go back and amend them. Time better spent raising morale.
Now hold on. I went into enemy territory crawling with dangerous creatures for you alone to get some dusty report. And you got the audacity to complain about paperwork? If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now.
You mean grant preferential treatment to a subpar contractor? And I suppose the bits for such a procedure shall simply manifest from the ether?
And if I die or leave, how do you reckon failure to retain an enhanced soldier would look to upper management, huh?
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death the preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit!
Are you mad? Has everyone around me gone mad? This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome with an Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say, but Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. And you, I got a proposition for you. Come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision. Most assuredly. But I suppose that is no longer my concern. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. I can tell you are a person of action, and I need the aid of such a person in Westport. Perhaps you may be willing to work with me? Though, of course, I would care to hear what you wish of Paradise Island first. Best to help another while helping oneself.
With that hat? Absolutely not.
Is this a bad time to mention I can read lips? Who doesn't get such a compulsion from time to time? Well, if you're serious about it, I suspect we can assist one another. You help me, and I'll get you inside. Better yet, helping me shall result in our saving dozens, no, hundreds of lives. Your conscience shall be renewed. Though I should warn you that if you choose to do so, Commander Carr shall not be pleased and will likely refuse to work with you herself. Westport is a shell of the bustling town it was prior to the invasion, though a handful of Protectorate Yaysayers still cling to it. My plan requires their conversion. Verily, on to business. I've a kit of supplies to aid you, items to cajole or to dissuade. Sabotage the town or sway the citizenry, the choice is yours. Should pose no trouble for a go-getter like you. Westport represents a challenge. The challenge presented by the majority of the Protectorate. Fairfield citizenry were given ample incentive to fold, for they could see the freedom we offer firsthand. But the people of Westport are stubborn enough to risk death for their ideals and cannot be swayed by the lights of Fairfield. If I can convert them, I can convert anyone. Shh, not so loud. The hat can tell when you're questioning it. The people of Westport don't trust me. How can they? I am the enemy. I am the invader. I cannot help these people achieve salvation until I know what it is they yearn for. You are a third party. You're presumably trustworthy. I need you to act on my behalf.
That should be better.
I say if the situation is serendipitous, so much the better. Perhaps. The kit contains a wide variety of tools, propaganda, equipment, and more than a few confectionaries. Some items may serve as honey, swaying the Yaysayers to our side. Others are blunt implements, crippling infrastructure to force the refugees toward Fairfield. Slather on a bit of elbow grease and you'll certainly succeed. I'm sure there are kindred spirits in Westport. No one wholly resists Auntie. That is a shame. I hope you change your mind.
Watch out for that Auntie Cleo. I know she don't look it, but she's more dangerous than she seems. Even the whole of Species' Choice couldn't outmaneuver her.
You're here early. I expected you'd be on the receiving end of Milver Street's bluster until close to the end of time. Happy that ain't the case, as I can make use of you. I'm Officer Babylon Carr, head of aggressive acquisitions and persons elimination on Paradise Island. Let no one say I can't be official when circumstances merit. Now, not to say I question the presence of a wayward sightseer in the midst of a war-torn waste, but it might be safer for us both if I knew your purpose. The Vox, eh? Bent on bloody self-destruction, I could just have my troops dispatch you, save you the effort. Although if you were keen on continuing to draw breath, perhaps you and I could broker a deal. There are Protectorate vitals need bled. You could do the bleeding. I want the Protectorate war effort exsanguinated. You want into the Vox Relay. You help me, I help you. There's a particular holding we shelled early in the war, name of Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center. Deserves a raising for the length of its blasted name alone. My scouts report recent Protectorate attempts to bring it back to functioning. I need the place sabotaged, lest Automechs return to aid the Protectorate war effort in droves. Should note, the ministers like to take our working together as a personal affront. Aid me, and I suspect he'll rescind any offer he may have made to you. Could be direct. Feign that you're an assistant of some kind, though you'd have to have some know-how regarding engineering. But a simpler path would be paying a visit to the Ministry of Accuracy, liberating some credentials. Yaysayers ain't capable of suspecting a piece of paper. Certainly could. I wouldn't shed a tear on behalf of those drones, but the Protectorate is used to losing its people. And there'd no doubt be a replacement crew in a week's time. The repair center itself needs to be permanently put out of commission. Anything else is temporary.
I was already gonna kind of sabotage that when we got in and see what it was and be like, oh, oops, accidentally destroy things. So I think I'll go with this approach.
Competence recognizes competence. Get into that facility and make certain it won't ever function again. I look forward to hearing your results.
All done in there? Hope that little dust-up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. Got a proposition. Since I'm newly free-ranged, and you're free-ranged yourself, thinking we ought to team up. You're going places. I want to go too. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. No matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back in Auntie's Choice. Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with Grafs for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us.
This much of a crowd's not likely to keep a low profile. Someone ought to head back to mine the ship.
Acknowledged.
After you.
first one, getting the conversation. As soon as he'd done the conversation, it's like, bang, you pull your weapon back out in their face. It's like, that's so helpful.
Would pulverizing them suffice? No, I could liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. Oh, Inez, you look, well, like you could use an ice bath and a cup of newly formulated triptease. Has something happened?
Something has, all right. I ended my contract effective immediately. Now I'm free to prove myself to everyone in Auntie's choice. My way.
Well, that's wonderful news. Or is it? I admit I'm still trying to work through what contracts mean hereabouts. But you do appear to be pleased, so I shall be pleased for you. Ah, that is not common knowledge in this town. But since Inez appears to trust you, I suppose I can do the same. Before I began my new illustrious career working with our tame, scaly friends here, I was a researcher in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Oh, I was on the verge of breakthrough when they shut us down. Oh, when I think of the lives I could have reached. But in my current role, I do try to help where I can.
Where my own first aid training can't reach, Doc's got me covered. The graft knocked me on my ass for weeks when I first got it. But she nursed me back to health.
Would if I could have done more.
Despite your insinuation, there are plenty of good folk around here, but perhaps not many with Doc's particular skill set.
I understand your reservation, but I do care deeply for all my patients. Inez has attested to it, and so can Copernicus here, when he is freshly fed. Where was I? Right. I have a lead, Inez. I've identified 2 viable beasts on this island that you may be compatible with, though it may not be easy to acquire the suitable specimens. The first candidate is the skeleton crabble. It has a rare form of albinism and was last spotted on the western coast by Protectorate scientists, who, unfortunately, went missing. I happened upon an old report of theirs along with a code used to operate their machinery. If their fate is what I suspect, the code may be of use to you.
I heard rumors of the creature myself. Our skeleton sounds a good bit larger than the average crabble. Meaner and smarter, too.
The second candidate is a Raptidon matriarch, the only one of her kind on the island as I understand it. She was last spotted in the crags near the Vox Relay.
Deep in Protectorate territory. This matriarch sure ain't making it easy for us. She'll be more aggressive and more cunning than her smaller kin.
When you breach the matriarch's lair, you must rouse her from hibernation. I found pheromones to be quite effective. Inez, I'm certain you know a formula that may suffice.
That I do.
Excellent. It'll be a rather unpleasant wake-up call for the matriarch, so she'll be upon you in moments. I suggest your armaments be at the ready. Then the grafting part is yours. Yes, though I would recommend a careful surgical removal of the specimens, please. Now, when you acquire one or both of these parts, return here straight away, and we can begin surgery. Matriarch, Law guide you both out there. Oh, I love questions. Ask away. I would never imply such a thing. I'm sure the Minister and Officer Carr have only our best interests at heart. Though I must admit, the continuing quarrels give me trepidation. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. The fact is that those two never got along particularly well, even under the best of circumstances. One wishes to woo Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. then her hands will be tied no longer. I suppose I can find relief in that. Some may think it too cruel to use Officer Carr's methods to strike the enemy while they are down. But I have come to believe there may only be one way to truly defeat an enemy such as the Protectorate. She believes this as well. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. Trust me, they are safer here than out in the wilds. I have been reprimanded thrice now for undue pampering. I would not be here if this experiment was still causing needless suffering.
Where are we XP-wise? Oh, we're getting there. Yes, we go investigate the carbon.
Val says you turned her down for a massage.
Turns out Val's massage protocol doesn't have a setting between a light touch and a 50-kilometer-per-hour punch. Not exactly therapeutic. Felt a little bad telling that to her face, though.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of one of those massages, too. Honestly, you made the right choice.
Guns cocked and loaded. Let's get the signal.
See those burrows? The skeleton's nearby. And if it's as nearby as I think, it don't bode well for those scientists.
I got my little thing that shoots a bit faster.
Well, you hate to be proven right. These folk have been dead a while. And that must be the machinery Doc mentioned. Over here, Commander. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Crabbles out. Let's see here. Generator's back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play.
Hey, what am I supposed to do? Just stand around and look pretty?
Well, if the commander's keen to share, you can press the button too. Wouldn't want you feeling left out. Ain't making it easy for us. Watch yourself. Damn, he's tough. How's he still standing? Almost got him. Don't let up.
And I'll take care of it, Commander.
There. He's dead. Liquidate us. Well, that phonotron was effective. Now we just need the specimen. Mind the pincers. They can be a little feisty even after death. Nice work. Mind bringing it over here so I can take a gander? Muscular reticulation's still intact. Cartilaginous integrity mostly sound. A good clean cut. And the pincer's still sharp. Yeah, this'll do just fine. Shame about all the scientists, though. I was hoping this wouldn't be too steep a price. If you still got some hunting you, that Raptidon matriarch's on the loose. Her den's not far from the Vox Relay up north. Elsewise, we head back to Fairfield and speak to Doc Tinsley. North it is. After you.
Okay. Back to 1 and take 1. Okay, so now able to go back to there.
take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
What's the beep?
Give Auntie 2 bits, and she'll give you some new glitz. Give Auntie 5 bits, and she'll give you
Hell.
facial spray.
I've stood this post so many times I could do it in my sleep.
Mind you don't let the bosses upstairs. People think I got ejected from the saloon because I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Well, maybe I am drunk.
Commander, your munition supplies are low. It is best we discuss acquiring more ammunition when we are next traveling together.
Been working at that spot of business we discussed. Easier to lead with fewer targets nibbling at your psyche. Loose your words. I'm listening. Scouts reported a plume of smoke thick and wide billowing from the facility. Sure didn't seem to be mechanical exhaust. Got more to report? Though I don't understand your soft-hearted tendencies, you do good work. So I can lower myself to easing your emotional load. Anyone still living at that repair facility is safe. They'll be stuck there trying to fix the facility for the whole war. And we won't attack it, since we know it's ruined. Now, let's talk helping you. There's a bridge gating entry to the northern part of the island. You want to get to the Vox? First step is getting through it. There's an alternate path, but it's blocked by Zeranium. I'll order my troops at the forward operating base to aid you, and you'll punch through together. From there, your target's the Skycutter Tower. Seems it was recently reactivated, and by our engineers' metrics, might be useful in overloading the Vox's defenses. Wouldn't trust the Protectorate's over-engineered perfection to cook a spratwurst. Give me the no-frills, disposable quality of Auntie's choice any day. If by some miracle your contraption doesn't turn you inside out, I'll give you a much quieter route to the Vox. Much as I'd like the bridge's clearing. Once you pass to the northern end of the island and enter the Skycutter, you'll need to find the tower's power routing controls. Mayhaps you can wreak some chaos at the Vox. Step light, though. There's no Protectorate gallivanting near the tower, which, like as any, means something bloodthirsty lurks within. Stay intact.
We've got multiple options. Getting to the tower.
approach openly, despite your new standing as a minion of Commander Babylon Carr. Well, speak all you like, you've aligned yourself with the Brute, thereby identifying yourself as one. I shall not forget this anytime soon. Go on, then. I have some faint recollections of the fuzz beneath my hat. Perhaps I saw such a name amidst my perusal of the Protectorate domicile assignment records. The record room is in this building. You have my permission to peruse at your leisure.
Red trim circle windows.
Reese sure has some chic putting the Earth Directorate symbol on her wall after everything she's done.
Yeah.
My cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. Seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me. Though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it. Though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I? I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. But the complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I can only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it?
I can't believe this. Void me if I understand any of this. DeVries sold us out for what? Because of a few equations? Some dots and lines on a graph? Good fucking law. I mean, she wasn't a damn scientician. She said it herself. She didn't understand all of it, the math. So what was she thinking? No. No. You didn't know her. Not like I did. Like I thought I did. Damn it. I never wanted to talk about this. I wanted to just leave it alone. Told myself, no point in dredging up the past. Should have known it wouldn't rest. DeVries may have saved me on Triangulum, but I wasn't the only one looked up to her. Lots of the other recruits talked about her too, back at the academy. We all thought she was the pinnacle of what an agent should be. Tough, smart, ain't a job she couldn't get done. Better and faster than everyone else. Inspired all of us. Reckon so. Somewhat embarrassing how much worship we all put on her name. You put a tool in my hand, I would have built monuments to her. Figured my own career could be just that. Doing for others what she done for me. Never imagined I'd actually get to work with her. Me, some nobody from Triangulum. And then she betrayed us. Tried telling myself it was an accident, but now we've got the cold, hard proof it wasn't. Law only knows why she trusted the Order's numbers. Ain't cynical if it turns out true. DeVries was willing to sacrifice us. I have to know what for. I mean, she always struck me as so pragmatic, real sensible-like. Never figured she'd go all in on predictions from a bunch of monks. Used to think they were good people trying to do right by their beliefs. But if they put the idea in DeVries' head to leave us for dead, it might be time I reassess that opinion. I don't take issue with folks clinging to whatever keeps them afloat. Math, science, the grand architect, void, even capital. I know how most colonies run. But when those beliefs start to require hurting others, even killing them, that's worth questioning their virtue. No, didn't even know DeVries was alive until she brought the satellite down. Until then, what kept me going was mostly training and stubbornness. And Val. But to your point, holding someone who's wronged you accountable for their actions ain't an act of vengeance. Some might call it justice. You forget we're on the same side here, Commander? I'm not the only one DeVries wronged. She robbed you of 10 years of your life. Don't you want recompense for that? No. But it might keep her from stealing more years from someone else. Or doing worse still. Whatever her plans, she started putting them in place while stationed undercover at the Vox Relay. Our next point of order ought to be getting in there.
Speech, leadership, explosives, why not? That seems useful.